How long do you work out? How many calories do you burn? Oh my god, these are so tangled. Holy crap. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Stella the Light, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. If you are new to my channel, I am Stella. I'm a plant-based health coach. I talk all things fitness, mental health, digestion, plant-based, vegan, traveling, sustainability, and everything else in between. I even do some beauty, some recipes. I myself healed from several disorders via a plant-based diet, and now I like to help other people hop on board with plant-based and get themselves feeling healthier and happier. I have a 30 and 7-day program as well as 2 ebooks. You can visit stellalight.com for more information on those, to check out my recipe blog, my full recovery story, and a ton more. All right, enough of that. Let's get into this video. I'm getting a lot of questions on what type of plant-based diet is the best diet. So there's like the starch solution, raw food, high carb, low fat, raw till 4. And I have one simple answer to what is the best for you. And that's gonna be none of them. I, through the years, have done a lot of research on each of them. Just generally following plant-based is key. So whether you like more raw foods, more cooked foods, just the general idea of plant-based, you know, eating primarily from the earth is what you're going to aim for. If you try and put any strict regulations on how much of this and how much of that, whether it's a micronutrient, a certain type of food, restricting yourself from cooked foods, it's just not going to be sustainable. So, you know, imagine you really love potatoes and rice and pasta, and you say, I can only have smoothies and fruit, and that's it. You would feel absolutely deprived within like the day, probably, because what you enjoy most is a plethora of all the foods. You want fruit sometimes, you want cooked food sometimes, you want to include a lot of whole plant fats, a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of plant proteins, a lot of greens and beans and vegetables. You want to include them all. There is absolutely, and I repeat this,
there is absolutely
no reason to restrict yourself from any macronutrient like carbs or fats. There's no need to go one way or the other. Do not do keto, do not do high carb, low fat. Neither of them. Find your middle spot, include them all, include a variety, and you will thrive on this lifestyle. What tends to make the lifestyle and plant-based and veganism unsustainable is when you aren't getting enough nutrients, calories, you're eating too much vegan junk food, or you're following another diet alongside of this. So if you're trying to do keto vegan, you're probably gonna fail. If you're trying to do high carb, low fat vegan, you're probably gonna fail, because your body will realize you're restricting something. Something is wrong here. Your body craves and wants all of the macro and micronutrients, so you need to day to day, consistently, for the rest of your life, give yourself just that. This is a good one. Opinion on medicines, specifically birth control and antidepressants. Okay, so personally, this is entirely personal. I am against them. I am against antidepressants. I am against birth control pills and things like that, simply because I have been through both of them, had absolutely terrible experiences with both of them, and have done lots of research on both of them. And for me personally, I do not promote them. I don't like the idea of them. I don't think that they're successful. I think that they are hurting more than helping. Again, that is just my personal opinion. I think that, of course, there are times when medicines and pharmaceuticals are necessary, and I'm not saying like go against what your doctor is saying or anything like that. You specifically should always do what you believe is best for yourself, what your doctor believes is best for you, whatever you guys both agree on. That is, you know, something that needs to be talked out between you guys. But for me personally, pharmaceuticals in general, I am highly against them. For the most part, like I said. Have you ever had issues with binge eating at night? I was a binge eater for years. It started out just at night because I was able to restrict myself pretty much all day long, and then just at night I would binge out, and then it became more and more serious to where I was binge eating pretty much all day long, in and out. Different restrictions with binges, different diets with binges. So I was a heavy binge eater towards the end of, you know, my struggles with my eating disorder. until I found this plant-based lifestyle, and then the switch flipped for me. But yes, I have struggled so hard with binge eating. That was the end all be all. I was done. Thoughts about binging on healthy foods. So no matter what, if you are binge eating, it is essentially comes down to something is missing in your life, whether it's a mixture of mental health, physically not eating enough. Almost all of the time, binge eating stems from just simply not eating enough or not eating enough of each food group. So people who tend to binge out on no matter what it is, if you're binging out on carrots or cookies, it doesn't matter, because that obsessive stuffing yourself with food is stemming usually from restriction somewhere, as well as mental health, of course, but they both go hand in hand. Undereating and poor mental health are two things that go directly hand in hand. If you are binge eating, no matter what you're binge eating on, something's wrong. You should never be stuffing yourself to the point of feeling sick, and you should never be depriving yourself to the point of feeling, like you want to binge. Are you going to add color to your sleeve? Absolutely not. I have never really liked color in tattoos, and I will keep it just like this. I will probably add some more shading, maybe a few more things. I do feel like I have a few empty spots that I would like to fill with certain things, but generally for now, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Maybe one day I will add in a little bit more shading and things like that, but right now I'm really, really happy with the way that it looks. I really, really do love my sleeve. How to lose fat without so much exercise. So getting your diet on point is going to be number one no matter what. You could work out and work out and work out, but if you are not eating properly, you're going to look and feel like crap. It just is what it is. Like, people tend to think like, wow, like she must work out a lot. And that is just not it. I know a lot of people think that, and people will ask like, how long do you work out? How many calories do you burn? All that nonsense. And it comes down to, I have just consistently been eating so healthy and wholesome for the past 6 years of my life that one, I am easily active. I'm active when I, day to day doing just normal day-to-day activities. I do a lot of things with a lot of energy. So even if it's like chores around the house, running errands, playing with the kids in my family, I tend to be more of a high energy person. Whereas before it was more like I would dread going to the grocery store because I didn't have enough energy. Now that right there is pathetic to me thinking back. I think back and I think, wow, you must have really been hurting yourself and under eating and depriving yourself if going to the grocery store or putting a load of laundry in was like torment. I literally would like have to work myself up to like, all right, go put a load of laundry in, go fold the laundry. You have to go to the grocery store. It would take me like 3 days to like work myself into going to the grocery store. So that being said, being active is important. Building a strong core, strong legs as you age is very important. Having good muscle tone, so important. Working your cardiovascular system, very important. But what you need to do first is fill your tank up properly. You do not need to work out hours and hours a day. You need to pick a few things that you love doing. Make sure you're getting your heart rate up a couple times a week and sweating. Generally, walking a lot is really good for you. But what you're eating is key to weight management and overall health. Next question, how do you stay mentally fit? I love this question. That is such a good, wholesome question because so many people focus on the physical, and while I do think it's so important to feel physically healthy and to feel physically confident in yourself, I think that's really important. What is most important and what everything roots back to, sorry, I got distracted. What is really, really important is your mental fitness. It all roots back to mentally feeling your best. If you are mentally low, everything else is going to feel low. So the ways that I stay mentally fit are unique to me, and yours are going to be unique to you. For some people, it is like an in-depth therapy session 3 times a week that they need. For some people, it's like just going for a walk outside. For other people, it is meditation or yoga. It really is different for each person. So I try to make sure that throughout the day, I'm including a handful of really amazing beneficial, impactful mental health helpers. I talk about mental health helpers a lot with my clients, and you just need to find what works for you. It could be painting or drawing or dancing or spending time with family or calling a friend or cooking or cleaning or, the list could go on and on. But what you need to do is find what works for you and stick with it. So for me, that tends to be stretching and yoga. I try to do, even if it's 5 minutes a day, getting it in somewhere, doing a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes in the afternoon. I really, really love being outside. So if I can spend at least an hour outside every day, whether that is sitting outside and working on my computer, sitting outside in the grass and looking up at the sky, reading a book outside, going for a walk, going for a jog or a hike, outside is my jam. So if I'm outside, I feel a whole lot better. It gets you that vitamin D, the fresh air, gets you out of that stagnant feeling. So another huge thing, of course, is eating enough, eating properly, eating the right foods, eating enough. That is so important for you to mentally feel clear and, sharp almost. So you want to feel sharp and energetic. You don't want to feel low and slow and groggy. Those are probably my biggest ones. So like nature and stretching and good food. Those are like 3 things that I do every single day that really benefit me, like over the top benefit me. So for you, it might be something different. You just need to weed your way through what does and doesn't work for you. And go from there. Include them daily in manageable ways, not like, oh, I don't do 3 hours of vinyasa yoga a day, because that in itself is just entirely not sustainable. So find the sustainable ways to stay mentally healthy and stick to them. Make them a part of your habit. Like, I brush my teeth every day. I also stretch every day. They're on the same level of importance. I gotta brush my teeth. I gotta stretch my body, if that makes sense. This is actually a really good one. How to avoid razor burn under your arms. Okay, my first tip is don't shave your armpits every single day. It's totally unnecessary. I think in this day and age, like, nobody cares as much if there's some hair under your arms. I understand I'm not a person who like grows their armpit hair out, but like, okay, maybe I do. I probably haven't shaved in, I don't know how long, but I don't shave my armpits every day. So kind of getting over that, I have to have clean shaven armpits every single day, that kind of helps a lot if you have really sensitive skin. So growing up with sensitive skin, I've always had to be careful with what I use, and that's perfectly fine because it kind of aided in me understanding like how, it's important to have clean beauty products, I guess, because my skin is sensitive, and even if I wanted to use dirty products, I would just end up breaking out in eczema and rashes and dry skin and all that gnarly, nasty stuff. So that being said, do not shave your armpits every day and stop using chemical-ridden deodorants. If you're putting deodorant on right after you shave, 99% of the time, even if it's a clean deodorant, it's probably gonna hurt your armpit. So try to avoid that. Don't immediately put deodorant on after you shave your armpits. Give yourself like a couple hours in between, or try not to wear deodorant that day if you can. Don't use a really dull razor. Maybe you can start to switch up and try and use something else to remove it. I know there's sugar waxing that's out that could help you with razor burn. I think you can even do it at home. So it's just using sugar wax type of stuff, and you can just rip out your armpit hairs. But those would be my biggest tips. And don't put deodorant on directly after you shave. Ooh, would you consider living in a tiny house? Not long term. I would do it. I wouldn't build a tiny house myself to live in, and I wouldn't make it like inevitably like long term we're gonna do this. Damon and I have lived in tiny houses before. We've lived in a 1-bedroom house before. Every place that we travel tends to be a tiny house or smaller, under 1,000 square feet. Probably normally, like, we've lived in anything from like 200 square feet to like just under 1,000 square feet. We've never looked for like a big place to rent when we rent, because smaller places just suit us better. So I would never do tiny house, meaning like one of those little houses that has like no room in it. It wouldn't work for me long term. I could do it maybe for a little while, but I definitely like smaller houses. Now, tiny versus small, I don't know if there's like, a certain square footage that makes it a tiny home or not. Generally, I feel like what would make me feel most comfortable and confident in my home is under 2,000 square feet. Probably around 1,000 to 1,500 would be like currently my ideal that I think I would invest in myself. Like if I were to build a home. But you know, whenever that lines up in our plans. As of now, Damon has a lot of big things going on. I'm not gonna go into that actually, but just know that we have so many fun plans coming up. And I'm so excited. I'm just like really excited about so much right now. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, what is the best way to lose those last 10 pounds? So I will say that the best way to, you know, if you have weight to lose, if it's just those last few pounds, one, X out pounds. I don't want you to think about weighing yourself or how much you weigh. I want you to think about how you feel. So if you feel bloated and inflamed and a little fluffy and you do want to build a little bit more muscle or something along those lines, I get it and I'm all for it, but X out those numbers. Because if you try to dwindle down to a certain number, as a human, as a woman, as a flowing, you know, being, you're going to ebb and flow 5 to 10 pounds per month. Just from your cycle, from digestion, from inflammation, all different factors go into how much you weigh day to day, and it fluctuates and changes so much that there is no point in constantly weighing yourself to try to get to X amount of numbers. So first off is to X that out. Second, I would highly recommend reaching out to someone who knows the ins and outs of weight loss on a plant-based diet. I will like self-promote here, I guess. I would suggest reaching out to me, telling me your story, and then we can kind of take it from there and I can get to know what you're eating now and I can help you make those changes. So I'll help you switch out certain meals that I think are hurting you, certain habits that I think are hurting you, certain combinations of foods. There's all different tiny little tweaks that you can make that can make the lifestyle work better for you, inflammation-wise, digestion-wise, weight loss-wise, energy-wise. So you might just need a little bit more energy to be a little bit more active. You might need to clean up your diet just a little bit more to help you to feel your best, look your best, all of those good things that are very important to living, you know, your truth, to being the best you. So that would be my biggest advice is reach out, talk to me, let's chat, let's see if you feel comfortable with me and comfortable enough for me to help you. If not, totally understand, but that as a health coach who's been a health coach for 4 years now in the plant-based movement, I can honestly say that if you get an outside perspective from someone who knows their stuff, you're gonna feel a lot better, a lot more confident in making those changes and that you're doing the right thing. Because that's mostly what clients need from me, is just to know I'm doing the right thing. You're learning about yourself, intuitive eating, digestion, healing, you know, catering to your schedule and all those. There's just a ton of things that go on that you could possibly be doing that aren't serving you as best as they could. Alright guys, I'm going to finish up this Q&A there. I hope you really liked it. I hope you got a lot of good information from it. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comments below. And if you're interested in going vegan or plant-based, you can visit my website, stellathelight.com, hit the contact me button, tell me your story and why you want to go plant-based. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. I will see you for the next video.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Been trying to get all of you all night. We haven't talked in months.